Lottie, can you list what you think are too much of me, please?
Okay, so probably too nice, too much of a worrier, too bossy, too controlling, slash kind of dominating, too annoying, maybe too needy or too reliant on others. Yeah, I don't know if they've been called those things all explicitly, but a lot of them have been implied by things people have said or done, or some of them people have said to me. And yeah, the other one is that I've only really been called once or twice, but it was called too selfish, and that was probably one of the worst things, because I think that's just not a characteristic that I want to have.
Lovely. And could you tell us like the context, like a specific time you called something and how it made you feel? Like in the same as before, differently.
Okay. During a fallout with a friend, I was called too selfish and too controlling. Kind of with the with a series of situations kind of being exemplified as like, oh, you did this, so that meant you were acting selfishly, or and then just trying to, I think sometimes trying to not even really take control, but trying to help lead a situation, because I think it's the right thing to do, but then other people think that you're trying to do it out of some sort of motive, or I don't know, trying to do it for the wrong reason. But yeah, basically kind of got said in the context of not even a heated argument, it was more just someone saying it to me and I was a bit like, oh, okay, that came about out of nowhere. But yeah, it made me feel pretty bad. I felt very low on kind of confidence after someone saying that kind of thing, and really made me question who I am and like what my personality is, and whether I act in a way that other people think is that too, or whether that's the opinion of one person.
What was your conclusion?
A bit of a mix. I think that a lot of it was to do with the other person at the time. Some of it maybe was to do with like my actions that had come across as like actions that might have come as a result of being a wee bit envious of people, or a wee bit just like looking at other people and thinking that they've got things quite easy when you think you don't, and then act in a certain way as a result, and people take it in the wrong way. So I think that of a combination. I don't completely blame myself if I actually think about it, but if I don't think about it, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, they probably think that because of X. So then in that sense kind of blame myself, I guess.
Yeah. And when was the moment, has there been a moment when you say like, oh, that's what I've been called too much of something, it's a reflection of that other person?
I don't think a full realisation. I think some friends have helped me kind of realise that it's not always you. A lot of the time it's to do with other people and their insecurities, and them maybe projecting their own feelings onto you. But I don't think there's like a specific moment where I was like, okay, no, I wouldn't say so.
Do you think the too bossy one, you always kind of knew that was a bit gendered and not to do with you?
Yeah, I definitely think that bossy is not a thing that men are ever called. It's actually my mum who pointed that out to me one time. She was like pointing out to me how like degrading it is towards women to say they're bossy when a man would be like powerful, or like you'd never call like your male boss bossy, but you'd call a woman bossy. Oh, she's awfully bossy. So I think that's just a gendered concept from the start, and I now call out anyone who called me it. I would say, don't call me bossy. If you want to slag me off, don't slag me off with that word, because you wouldn't say it if I was a guy. So yeah.
Yeah. And have you found people that you feel like you can be yourself around?
Yeah, definitely. I've got a lot of, like, my family, for start off, we're a very open family where everyone's just themselves around each other. And my boyfriend is very, like, probably the normal version of myself in my silliest form around him. And yeah, I've got a number of really close friends, ones who I've known for years or ones I've just met who just like completely, you don't think before you do stuff, which is the sign of it. You aren't worried about what they think, you just are being yourself, I guess. So yeah, definitely have some people, and then I definitely have other people who I'm conscious maybe of acting in a certain way when I'm around them or something like that. I don't know.
How did you find your like tribe of people? Because a lot of people talk about like their sort of people they find that kind of help them, you know. And how did you find it? Obviously, your family you're born with, but was there a way you found those other people?
Yeah, in all different random walks of life. So some of them are like literally one of my best friends I've been friends with since I was 2.5 or 3. We met in playgroup because another girl pushed her off the slide and I was there and she was like, let's be friends. So we were friends. We stayed away from the scary girl who pushed off the slide. One of them I met, well, a couple of them I met in high school, and one of them told me she really didn't like me to start with, and then now is still one of my best friends because we're both strong personalities, but we do get on really well. And one of them I met on a trip to Bangladesh and lived through some pretty crazy experiences with. I think it's pretty rare to be able to live with anyone. And then a couple of people like I lived with at uni, and it's kind of both girls and guys who just found them were like, yeah, I like you. Like one of the girls I lived with for all of uni, and we just were the silliest people when we were together. And one of them I went travelling with. So I think all different walks of life. Yeah, friends of friends who then you end up being friends with, or different. Everyone's kind of got a different situation, but mainly through school and uni so far, and work, because those are the 3 things I've mainly done. Like I've not.
Did you find you were yourself when you met them?
Yeah, mostly I think. When I moved to uni, I moved with a couple of my friends from school, so they already knew what I was like, so I would be normal around them, and then other people would just be in the situation and they'd kind of get involved. When I met my boyfriend, I didn't think he had any sort of interest in me. I actually thought he had a girlfriend, so I was just being really stupid and silly because I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I mean, I think you should be able to be completely yourself, but I also think most people, if they think someone likes them, try harder to be the best version of themselves. Whereas I was just being silly because I was just, yeah. And then, like kind of traveling or like living situations abroad, it's like you don't have any option because living with someone 24 hours a day and barely even going to the toilet without their company is just, yeah, you get to know people very well, so yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. And leading on to your too muches and how they're your power, like if you could list all the things you've been called too much of, how are they your power and how have they helped you and other people?
Okay. Well, being like too organised or too controlling, organisation has been pretty useful. Means I keep track of where my things are and what I'm doing, and can, yeah, being a bit organised and a bit bossy has proved very helpful in work when I've been acting as a manager, supervisor, or in any sort of position where I can use that skill to actually make an event happen or something like that. Being, I've forgotten all my other ones. I think I said too nice at the start, and I don't really see how you can be too nice. I think in terms of too nice, is like being nice to people. That's always a power. To see the best in others and to try and put your best self forward towards others by being generous or being kind. I think that's just immensely, that's inspiring. Anyone who wants to do that. Worrying too much, or I think that is like a kind of compassion for others, and helps you help them and help yourself. And in that respect, being selfish sometimes, how are you going to get where you want to go if you don't have a bit of a selfish nature, where you realise what you want and you do what you can to get there. Yeah, kind of being too needy or too reliant on others. I can't really think how to describe it. I think that's a choice you're making, more that I want to be around others and to share in experiences and enjoy things with them, than having to have that. Don't need that to survive, but it makes you happier, makes you more excited about the things you're doing, I guess. Yeah.
Mm.
Don't know if I've missed any.
I think that's good. Yeah. And can you list the things you love about yourself?
Ooh. Laughing and smiling. This is difficult. I wasn't prepared for this question. I more love the way, aspects of my personality that make. I like that I.
You love.
Oh, sorry. I love that I worry a lot about other people, because, in a weird way, in terms of not worrying about what they're thinking. I hate that, but I love that I know I care about people so much, and I know how important people are to me. I love having brown eyes. I've always liked Van Morrison's Brown Eye Girl song, so I like having brown eyes. Love having brown eyes, sorry. I don't know. I think asking anybody what they love about themselves is always a hard question, especially if you're Scottish and brought up with modesty. It's coming before anything else.
So, if someone who was 13 came up to you and they said, yeah, my friends have called me too selfish, too bossy, too needy, that I worry too much, and she said to you, I've had a similar situation that you did with your friends and in relationships, she said, I don't know, do I change? What kind of advice would you give to me? What would you say to her?
I would say don't change, because everybody's their own individual, and I think that pretty much every criticism one person can have of you could be the best thing that you see in yourself, or the best things that others see in you. I would say to stand up for yourself and recognise that those traits can have really positive aspects too, and sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never harm you. No, that's not true. I don't cut that. Words can be very harmful, but I think just having a belief in yourself. I think I've always been taught to believe in myself, but I think actually realising that you can be your own person and be individual and have these traits that some people think are negative, which are really positive in other ways, and you can shout your name from the top of the hills and dance around and do whatever you want as long as it makes you happy. I think fundamentally you need to be happy and not hurt other people in finding that, but just be your own cheerleader, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So, if you could change the world tomorrow, what would that world look like and why?
Oh, the world. It would be gender equal to begin with. And I mean like truly gender equal, like you can be a boy or a girl and nothing matters. Everything's the same, you can do whatever you want to do. You don't carry these worries about the risks of acting in a certain way, or like risks of walking alone at night, or whatever things we have. It would be a much more sustainable world. We'd not try and kill the planet and all the animals on it through like plastic and deforestation and all these sorts of things. It would just be a lot more liberal and equal, and race and gender and age and everything, sexuality would not matter. Nobody would care. Individuals would be respected and celebrated for being individual rather than criticised for being different. Like to see the wealth gap massively decreased, and people not be so quick to jump to conclusions about the circumstances which have led people to be where they are. I think just people wouldn't care so much about other people's lives. You'd care about them in terms of not wanting to harm other people or do wrong by them in following your own dreams, but you also just wouldn't criticise and comment and try and drag people down to put yourself up, I guess. So yeah, basically more equal. It would be an equal world. And just things that matter so much to us now wouldn't matter the way they do.
Yeah. And is there, and who's someone that you really admire, and why do you admire them?
I really admire, most directly I really admire my family, my mum, my dad, my sister. Probably one of my biggest, like I really admire everything that my mum has done for herself and her family, like her sisters and her mum and dad, and then for my dad and me and my sister. But also the work she's done socially, kind of working on things to do with health and gender and equality. I think that's amazing. I'm also really inspired by people like Nelson Mandela. I just think people who fought for freedom, not just for themselves, but for thousands and millions of other people at the same time, and gave up their everything for other people. I'm inspired by people like Emma Watson and people who set up programs like He for She, and people who are advocating for a more equal world, I guess. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah.
And is there anything else you want to say at all? Words, wisdom, quotes?
Don't be a muted piano.